Alrighty, welcome everyone to Cleveland R user group. Today we have one of our co-organizers, Tim Hoolihan. He's the Cleveland Data and Analytics Practice Lead for Centric Consulting. And today he's going to tell us all about, he's going to lead a demonstration here, trying to write R code with ChatGPT and Bard and see how they do. So take it away, Tim.
Yeah, great. So in case you haven't noticed, I'm doing video a little different. Hopefully, is everyone seeing that as if that's a screen share right now?
We see a title screen.
Yep. Yeah. So I just, I'm not using the screen sharing function though, actually, so for any AV nerds out there, this is using OBS Studio as a virtual camera. I thought, I got this idea to play around with this for virtual talks so you can see the speaker and still see the material and stuff. And then like when I minimize the PowerPoint, the R Studio and stuff we use is behind it. So that causes issues, let me know later, but hopefully that works for everybody. So yeah, as John said, I'm Tim Hoolihan. I'm one of the co-organizers here. Lead the data analytics practice at Centric Consulting, kind of mid-sized consulting, about 1,500 employees, 12 cities throughout the US, and a large Centric India practice as well. Personally, when I do technical work, I'm more helping arrange our teams to get aligned to the right projects and those kind of things. But I do still do some hands-on work, and that's usually in either SQL or Python or Power BI. We're going to work on a large language model. So first, I'll before you get into the nitty-gritty here, I'll just say, the idea was I've been playing around quite a bit with ChatGPT and Bard and whatnot, and wanted to see how much code I can write. And obviously, there's a lot of chat in the media about what jobs will be eliminated and these type of things. So it's always interesting to see, well, what's it actually capable of. And so I got to writing some R code with it, and I thought, well, why this was fun to do on my own, it'd be more fun to do this with a group where everybody can sort of provide feedback of what they do and don't like about the code it writes, and or maybe poke holes and say, well, it did this, but like ask it to do this other thing, and we're looking for the edge cases that break it. So we did that collaborative coding with Kaggle. I think that was last year. So same kind of spirit and idea. So for anybody who's been living under a rock and does not know what a large language model is, or ChatGPT, they've actually been around a little bit longer than you would think. So in my prior job, I was at a company called Dialogue Tech from 2015 to about 2019. And we did a lot of work on analytics of business-to-business phone calls. And around that time is when like BERT and other models came out that were these very, very large, deep learning languages or deep learning models around natural language processing. They were a lot more advanced than like the bag of words and other techniques that were much simpler for doing NLP in the earlier days. And the idea was that it was pre-trained on very, very large bodies of text. And so they very high parameters. So this drove some of the initial, deep learning boom and whatnot. So obviously image classification is one thing where you get very large matrices, but then also these embeddings. So these the embeddings, the width of the model, if you will, is the number of variables that can encode the language. And then, you might be, piping through long pieces of text, right? So you have lots of rows, lots of columns. You start doing matrix multiplication. You need tensors, GPUs, these type of things that they work in. So we use models like that because they were pre-trained in what they call transfer learning. And so that's where you go to do, classification or scoring of a conversation. And you would do that with one of these models as the starting point, because it already understood a lot about text, and then you would just begin to tune to your problem. But more recently, folks figured out how to, let me pause before I move on. The picture up at the top there, this is from Wikipedia, of attention. So this is one of the big concepts of machine learning that kind of allowed for some of those breakthroughs with models. And I don't expect anybody to be running through that diagram in their head too much, but largely just think of it as they get into these kind of sequential based on this piece of it, what's next? You would see like recurrent neural networks and other things in this space. And so I do link, we'll share the slides, although there's only a few of them here because we'll jump into coding soon. But we link out to some of the, these 2 Wikipedia articles that are helpful if this is something you want to really understand at the lower level of how this works. But more recently, they've trained up even larger models. So GPT-3 is the one that kind of caused the initial spike in the news story. They've already moved on to GPT-4. And so then ChatGPT is just putting a chat function on top of that. So letting you have a conversation with that model and letting it generate things back. Hopefully that all makes sense in a quick nutshell. So yeah, just showing here, kind of there's certainly others, dominant players in this space are ChatGPT and Bard. And so today we're going to do that. We're going to not write any code ourselves. So the point is that everything we do, we're going to ask ChatGPT or Bard to do for us. And we can get a guidance on goals, styles, libraries, packages to use, etc. And the idea is start with some sort of simple like interview-based problems, and then kind of move to more complex and those type of things. So certainly feel free to jump in with suggestions. I've kind of got a sheet of I purposely picked a bunch of things that I have not done with it yet, so that hopefully we'll have a few surprises. So I'll get a few going, but I think you'll get the idea of it, and then we'll go from there. Oops. So bring up here. So for anybody who's not seen the websites for them, go ahead and make this. So we're kind of going to go split my screen here 2 ways. So I'll do the browser on the left to use ChatGPT, and then we'll put it in RStudio in the beginning, and then later I'll switch to Kaggle. How am I doing on font size? If I type in stuff here, so everybody's seen that okay?
It's a little fuzzy on my screen, I think, but I don't know.
Yeah, the text is a little blurry. Is there any way you could change the dimensions maybe? It's like a little stretched.
Huh. Give that a shot.
I'm not wearing my glasses, so I thought maybe it was just me, but I think I'm not the only one.
Which way stretched? Like, does it appear too wide or too tall?
I think it might just be the compression. It's just
Got it. So let's do this. I'll just switch over to the. Let me stop that for a second.
If it is OBS.
And close down OBS. Let me use my camera. Jump to my messy office, and I'll just screen share. Screen 2. All right, is that better?
Oh yeah, that's way
much better.
Okay. And font size is sufficient.
You still probably want to zoom in a little bit, but we don't have the blur
Okay.
of all the
yeah. It's super
all the
crisp.
text anymore.
Yeah.
Oops. We do. And how's that?
I think you can do like Control-Shift+ or something to just zoom in the whole RStudio, if I remember right.
Work for the browser. It's failing me on RStudio, but yeah, regardless, is I don't know. You see the preview there. Does that look right? 16 still okay?
Yeah, that looks fine.
Okay. All right. So if anybody hasn't seen it, that's ChatGPT. As long as you're using ChatGPT 3, it is free. If you want 4, it's paid. And then Google, you just have to sign up. And this is what Bard looks like. So bard.google.com. I would also mention, I don't have an account with this. GitHub Copilot is an interesting option as well. This is a plugin to your IDE that will you can ask it to help with code completion and other intelligent things there. It's actually built on OpenAI's Codex, and that is trained specifically on the corpus is trained on. It's not generalized like ChatGPT, where it's trained on everything across the web. It's specific to coding examples. So we'll stick to coding, but I was just going to say, like, for anybody who's not seen it in action, well, just a hello world is like, write a short poem in the style of Oprah Winfrey, will say. Whoops. And there you go. Empowering melody, like that. That's the name it picked for it. We'll rename this our user group. All right, so my sort of hello world for this on the R side was going to be, if you're not familiar, FizzBuzz is like a common programming, interview type question of just, can you write basic code with structure? So, I'm also going to do something here. So sometimes these large language models hallucinate, as they call, and this is where it like starts to like, basically it's a bit of a stack of stuff, and early instructions you give it can begin to fall out the back. So I'm only going to tell it once that we want everything in R, and then we're going to see if at some point it forgets that. So going to ask you to write some code. Everything will be written in the R language. Does that work for you? Section to so this keyboard's a little different. My work keyboard. You're gonna see all my terrible typing today. Yeah, so it does the favor here because I did not explain the middle. It's just to say, yeah, you're asked to loop through numbers, and if it's divisible by 3, it presents it writes fizz, 5 buzz, and the other both. And so we'll just copy the code, paste that in here. Let's source it. I wish it would given a. So I wish it would have given a line break. So we're going to just tell it that. Say, wrote that again, but this time break at the end.
I think it did exactly what you said.
You didn't tell it how many.
There's that line break you asked for.
Yep. So let's ask it again. At the end of each line. Let's see if anyone understands that. ChatGPT loves to apologize. Anytime you come close to correcting it, it starts with apologies. Yeah. So we'll copy and run it, but that certainly appears to be correct. Yeah. Except, yeah, if I want to be real picky, we could say put the integer before it, but it's all right. We'll move on. I think you get the point of that one. So then I thought, okay, let's take a built-in data set. So diamonds, right? The our data set. Diamonds. And
Diamonds is not in R though. That's in
Yeah.
ggplot.
something else. Yeah, ggplot. It's not a base
Oh.
data set, but
Yep, we're gonna see if it knows it. Summarize the weight and cut. Let's see. So I'm guessing that's not gonna work for the exact reason Brian said. Let's see. Yep, not found. Diamonds wasn't found. You forgot a library.
Next time you should just give it the error message. Say like this was the error message.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say I've seen a lot of people get a lot of play out of that. So you just like copy paste the error message and be like, "This is what it said. Can you help me fix it?" And it's somewhat good at that.
Yeah. Good call. We'll do that. We'll do that. Yeah. So then let's say, okay. That data set. You plot. Spot of say weight by type. Looks correct. About that same plot, but in base R. Let's see what he thinks about that. Now it's kind of cheating here because my I'm gonna so we'll do what we said before here. Hang on, we'll restart the session and then that should fail. Well, I knew what to do.
Did you say not available in base R earlier, or did it pick up on that, like that turn of phrase?
I did not say anything about not available in base R. It was listening to Brian.
Yeah.
that's creepy.
I'm so scared, you guys.
Alright, so there it is.
If it can do it with MRI, it's be able to go through the PC and read your brain.
Now use
I have to start
wire.
wearing those tinfoil hats.
Lead. Post. Where? So we're gonna ask dplyr to roll it up in a group by. And summarize the clarity.
I don't think
Keeps not.
Mode's gonna do what it wants.
Get in there. Once again, we get to feed it its air. Would that be interesting? That was like,
Did it? I missed it in the other code block. Did it? It defined the mode function, but then didn't call it afterward. Was that what happened? Like in the first little block of code it gave you?
oh, it defined it after.
Yeah, that's a choice.
Oh, it
Okay,
did
sure.
define them.
Yeah,
I thought I just invented it.
Yeah. That's an interesting mess.
Wait, where?
Here's the code. See, you use it up here, but it's defined here. Let's tell it and see if it goes back and fixes it. Mode function was fine, but you declared it after you used it. So now it's regenerated with. So let's try both of them. So first, the one that doesn't rely on node.
and I think there they just ripped the guts out of the Who is they? Anyway, it just ripped the guts of the mode function out and like wrote it directly in summarize call, right? So hopefully it should work, but
Yeah. Yeah, same answers as well. Appears to me. So that's like an interesting, yeah, the miss there of that being above it. I mean, that's the, you think like the model's always kind of predicting the next word. Not necessarily like knowing full interpretation, right? And it's using prior example as its, yeah, it can be both scary smart and scary stupid at the same time. Oh, and then thought about something like a little more rare, like introspection stuff. So like, right, code that shows the R source code of the mode function UL. I like it. It's like, I don't want to make that mistake again. You know, it tells us that mode is defined first, and then it's gonna. Am I incorrect though? Or maybe I'm thinking of Python. Can you not just, if I just call mode without parens, is it not? Yeah. Print body mode seemed like overkill there to me. I wonder what that's. I've not even heard of the body function.
I also feel like the guts of the mode function itself are kind of, they don't look optimal to me. I'd have to think about it for a minute, but
Yeah. Let's ask it. Why did you write a custom mode function? Again, it's apologizing. I just asked for an explanation. So scroll back up. You are correct that there is a base R function. It's just table. Here's an updated version that just uses table. It's updated.
It's calling table twice there. It's not it's highly non-optimal also.
See if it even works. It did work.
Its dplyr solution was pretty close to optimal.
Did the source. All right. I was going to switch over to Kaggle and actually asking a couple of like introspective R questions. Before I do, that's kind of a good inflection point. Anything jump out at anybody that like, they want to do in this kind of just what's built into R before getting into like an external set? All right. So when I was going to go ahead, Nicole.
I was wondering if you can ask to summarize the output it has generated in simple English. Will it do that?
Summarize the output that was like, meaning summarize the code it wrote or some
The graph and what does it mean? Higher is better, lower is better. Or is it computed
okay.
for values, whatever.
Okay, what
The
the
output.
table produced that code tells us.
Okay, so it says by examining this table, you can gain insights into the relationship. What if we ask it to tell us what those insights are?
I like that. Table.
Yeah, that's interesting. It was Hillary Parker has that package Explain R. It's old now, but this might be able to do a better job of explaining. Pretty verbose though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wait, does that match your table?
Not quite.
It does not.
Yeah, it's missing the average
So
weight.
that's real. So I'm stuck on this actually. So where did it get this? Like, where did that table it just showed us come from? Because I don't think it's running R code or anything of the sort under the hood. Where did that come
Yeah.
from?
It just made it up. And I've had this issue many times before where, it gave me perfectly good code and it would give like examples of, input, and then all the outputs is just made up because there's no, like, it's not, running R in the back end. It's just guessing the answer. So.
Interesting. And it right here, it says it's Perl. That might just be a bug in the JavaScript, whatever they're using here to display the code. But so let's try giving it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what if you feed it the table and then ask it to digest that for us?
Yeah. The actual table.
Say, please execute this Perl code.
That's pretty literal interpretation. Say what the weights are.
This is every freshman paper I've ever read.
Did you specify the diamonds data set, or did you just pick that on its own?
I specified diamonds.
Yep.
Interesting. Let's say don't think though diamonds has a. Just trying to think of something we could get it to speculate about at the table, but all right.
So if you want to go that direction, what if we ask it if there are like statistically significant differences or something? I'd be kind of curious to see how it might handle some sort of hard analysis. If that's also a rabbit hole we may not want to go down, so your call.
No, I like it. Let's ask it. Differences. Oh, it jumps right into it.
Yeah, that's
Next, we can ask it what a p-value is.
yeah. So that's interesting, right? So you asked the question of statistical significance, and it correctly identified that ANOVA would be a useful strategy there. That's not nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just take one of these questions, and we don't need to do a full testing comparison, but I want to throw something over into Bard as well, just to show some differences. What do we got here?
Wow, it loads it from a website.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a clever way to do it. That'll work. Or if as long as that's correct.
It went right to Hadley. That feels correct. Oh, but at 404s.
Damned internet.
Oh, say 404.
Now, do I remember correctly that there are some like structural differences here between ChatGPT and Bard? So I think Bard is sort of plugged into the internet in a way that ChatGPT is not, but Bing is. Is that all correct?
I believe, let's test it. Summarize the 6 skills.
I think ChatGPT is limited to 2021 and before,
Yeah.
whereas Bart and Bing are current.
Yeah. So that's actually not correct, though. The Celtics, Celtics won last night. It's 3-1, but
Well, the yesterday's data may not be available.
yeah.
Or maybe it's just getting its data from the Heat beat writers. Or
Yeah, but yeah, I do believe you're correct. So ChatGPT is trained on corpus of 21 or earlier. Bard, and then Bing is using ChatGPT, but I believe it has like
4.0
integration
and
to
Bing
the
has
search
some
engine.
added components.
Yeah. All right, so let's slide over to Kaggle problems. So I kind of picked this with the idea of not that Kaggle is real world, but it's a little more like abstract, like, okay, this is a data set it wouldn't know about, that kind of thing. So we would say, we'll go in here. Oops, sorry, this two browser thing is, so, say make a new notebook. All right. I picked R.
I bet you could say, write me the solution to the Ames housing cackle problem set. It'll give it to you. So many notebooks and GitHub files dedicated to that. That might be jumping the gun.
Well, let's give it a shot. All right, all the way to the bottom here. Is that, I was, sorry, that Zoom toolbars bugging me here. Work on the two place handle is code to load up data set. Actually, let's go ahead and go all the way down to build model that predicts is in place based file.
Wow, it's really thinking.
Or it went to sleep.
I think maybe the most impressive thing about this software is that they have sort of marketed it in such a way that when it does this, that everybody imagines it to be thinking, right? That's fantastic. That was a great turn by OpenAI.
Oh,
Yeah, I think it went to sleep.
Let's try one more time. Oh, points for John. It's calling it a popular machine learning model. It's like, oh, I've got tons of examples of this. Okay, and it tells us to replace, it says it stubbed out the path. And it talks through all the steps of it. So let's do what it said, take its code. And let's run that one real quick. Get the directory. This is just Kaggle spinning up a container underneath to, okay. So
I thought we were calling that thinking now. Kaggle's thinking as well.
but still need .csv. All right, so it said sales price by everything in the formula. It's doing fivefold cross validation. That's down here for anybody not as familiar with how Carrot does it. It's done a shuffle of the partition to do test and training 70-30%.
I think it had an error up at the top there.
Is that what it's doing?
Yeah, right at the top. See, there's a got an error there.
Missing values, yeah.
All right.
give ChatGPT your error.
Yeah. How much do we give to it? I don't know if I can handle that whole.
Probably
error.
just the error in NA
Let's
fail
go with
default.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just the error. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's saying, yep, uses NA omit. We'll just create that.
That's actually less convenient, right? Because it doesn't tell you, you would want just where it would to change, right? Because now you have to update your path again and everything. You don't,
Oh,
you don't
you're right.
know. Like if you could ask it maybe like what actually, which lines changed or something like that.
Yeah.
I think in
I'm
the
gonna do
explanation
both.
below, it was trying to annotate that a bit. I think it just said basically it added one line. Yeah.
You can see it. It's got a comment pre-processing up a bit. It's
Oh, nice. It does say it. Okay. Yeah. It
Yes,
says you added
yeah,
that one
yeah.
line. That's nice.
It changed the variable name though, so you know.
This is
So
Yeah.
now it's calling it pre-processed data instead of housing. So you know. Oh wait, what is that pre-process function though? Where's that function?
Possibly nowhere. It'll be a fun journey.
Yeah, let's find out. That seems like it didn't like my, so let's call this, hold on. I'm just gonna make sure that that wasn't me messing that up. Not worry about this. And I must have at least 2 data points. Okay, let's start with the error. Rest this issue, check the number of observations in the data set. That doesn't seem right.
It's like it put in a new little thing to check if there's like less than 2 data points, right? But I don't think that's solving whatever the actual issue is.
Yeah. Here, let me do this. So I can just copy and do the whole thing and make sure it's not that I'm replacing lines. So we'll say file path is code using that correctly. Okay. Let's try it now. Set at least 2 data points. So I bet that's not called sales price in the column. So I'll say I may have given column name rate flow to show our names in
But you didn't give it the column name. It came up with that model on its own.
It did. But I said predict sales price based on that. I don't know if I said exactly.
I see. Okay.
So I'm wondering if it grabbed that token.
I think you did.
Yeah.
I see.
Add a cell. There's the sales price.
But it's not plural. It's sale price. What does the code say? Does the code say sales or sale?
Yeah, it's the sales.
Yeah, it's singular. It's doing it right.
Oh man, okay.
My guess is that it's not taking into account all the other columns. Like it just assumed that this is a very easy to train data set, but there could be factors and other things that it's not, it assumes that it's just clear to pre-process, but when I try to use it with tidy models before for a tidy Tuesday data set, it's very similar thing. You kind of have to kind of subset, or sorry, not subset, but select just a few columns for it to see.
Could the NA omit have nuked the whole thing? Is that a possibility on the table here? Or
So
no,
this
I guess
is-
that's train data. Never mind. Yeah. Never mind.
It's happening. I just realized. So I've looked at closer. It's happening in the create data partition. So it's not in. So you do usually you pass it the Y and it uses that because it wants to sample from those to make sure. So rather than us rack our brains, let's say it's giving the error below that we have. There are many valid Y. Simply with the partition.
So I think in its first stab at this, didn't it do the partitioning a lot more directly, like with just index subsetting rather than the create data partition?
So it does two different play, like it does that.
Oh,
for
I see.
applying
Okay.
it
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
when it grabs the index. Did it change here?
Any chance we can see what pre-processed data looks like?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, see, so what I think happens is the pre-process function doesn't quite work, and so pre-processed data.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah, it's calling that on a entire data frame.
Right.
And I think you're supposed to only call that on a value. Interesting. Success is result is not a data frame. It is still using the updated path I gave it. So, okay, so now let's go ahead and its new version. Oh, it hadn't finished generating. That's not me. Values in the object. So I forgot the NA omit that it remembered earlier. Is that? So it just ripped out the. But you still need the NA.
It's interesting too that it kind of kept around that whole vestigial check for whether there's enough data points, right? Because
Yeah.
yeah.
Is that its check? Yeah. So let's check housing here real quick. Oh, it really has no data, so. ChatGPT is not doing a strong showing here.
It's a curious error on that housing.
I mean, NA omit's a pretty blunt tool, right? If there's an NA in any of the columns, I mean, there could be a column that's almost
Indeed.
all missing or
Right.
something.
That was what I was suggesting earlier. Was maybe the
I see.
NA omit was nuking the thing, but
Yeah, good point, Aaron. Yeah, I forgot you'd said that. So yeah, I'm thinking that's what's happening. I think with Aaron, they might need to pick a couple columns or something.
yeah, you
Yeah,
sort of
or-
want to you want to omit the NAs of the particular variables you care about, right, or something like
Yeah, or
that.
say something like remove any column with 75% or more missing data or something like that.
All right, I like that. So save the code, remove any column that has. We're going to see this in greater than 50%. 50%.
I actually love this as a test too, because this is probably something that there's not a ton of training examples on.
Are you kidding? Kaggle problems? Kaggle getting started problems? There's.
Oh no, I mean this specific like micro task, like the wipe out any column with more than half of values missing or something like that. It seems like maybe that would be rare. I don't know. I could be totally off.
I'm surprised it hasn't just found. There must be thousands of R examples solving this problem. I'm surprised it just hasn't regurgitated.
Yeah, that's what I thought, Brian. I thought it was just going to autocomplete based on the average of the just bajillion of these.
Well, I think it's reading a lot of lesson plans, right? And those, you may not, you have often clean data sets, like Tidy Tuesday, like you
Oh
start
yeah,
with a very clean data set. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
reading a lot of that.
Yeah, good
yeah.
point.
It should be swearing at us. Clean your damn data, you idiots.
So let's go back up to the beginning. That's a good point. I want to see if we give it just the initial problem, since Bard has internet connection, like if it's just gonna give us basically a pre-baked answer. So then go steal somebody's code. Where was it here? But insights are valuable. Okay.
So I played around with ChatGPT a lot, but not really Bard. What is your kind of like top level view of the comparisons between those?
I mean that like you can actually ask like almost Alexa-like questions. I'm probably gonna trigger my Alexa with it because of the internet connection, right? I mean that makes a big difference. I feel like it's been a little while since I played around with it, but I feel like though there were some other things that ChatGPT did really well that Bard struggled with, and I'm failing to remember what the example was at the moment. All right, this one it's interesting. This is super simple.
Do you need a file path on the read CSV call?
Oh, yep. I am gonna need that. So let's do what I did with the other one. Let's tell it.
while you're loading that, I can tell you I fed that eigenvalue problem that I mentioned the last meetup that I asked the ChatGPT gets hilariously wrong into Bard, and Bard gets it dangerously wrong because it presents a more plausible solution that's wrong, but extremely hard to tell it's wrong. It took me like a half an hour of thinking to show that its proof was incorrect. So it was so Bard's a much better bullshitter, in other words, than ChatGPT is in my testing of it.
Interesting. Having problems with some columns. Let's limit it to number of rooms, square.
Just give it the error. Or
Hey, I'm just gonna save this because I and lot size. See that.
That's interesting because it's actually asking you to fix it now. Whereas
Yeah.
ChatGPT always spits out updated code.
Error your code. We'll tell it, see what it does. That's apologizing. It's copied it just like ChatGPT likes to do that. Does it do anything different?
It did it drop the ID column? Was that there before?
It did not drop it prior. See error. There's the latest.
Is it trying to say that ID is only has one level? That doesn't seem right.
yeah, that's probably not the case. It's kind of hung up on that ID thing.
Yeah. Let me try. Oops. Just because I know we're already kind of on the long side. I want to try asking it to reduce to a few columns. See if
Yeah,
it
now
was
you're
good.
giving it the answer. So
Yeah. It's interesting. It just did a select on it as opposed to putting that in the formula.
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Not gonna work.
Whoops.
The select statement's wrong.
Yeah. Well, if there's a summary, all you programmers still have a job.
Our programmers. So I'm actually more interested now to see like how this does on Python stuff, because I think the corpus of Python training data is probably much larger, right? So I'm very curious. If you took the same thing and did the Python version of it, how would it do? So I will be at the big data thing.
Yeah, the tough thing is going to be that big data talk has a timer of 20 minutes. So I may have to like really cut to the.
Tim, can you put that a link to that in the meetup
Yeah, for the
notes. So I've forgotten already when it is, but if you could just put a link to that big data, yeah, it would be interesting to see.
I will. I may have to just send
John
out
already
some
put it in.
message group.
John's got it.
Oh,
It's right there.
Nice.
In the chat. It's
Yeah.
the July one, right, Tim? You're doing. there's
Yeah,
not-
I didn't know if he posted it yet. So it's up.
It's up, but he hasn't populated yet. It's just there. So
Okay. What do you do here? Oh, interesting. I don't think that's right. I've always done that with backticks, right?
Yeah, if the periods thing works, my mind will be blown.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work, but it does not.
Good guess, I suppose, but yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe where that's coming from, sometimes when when you import CSV files with like base R CSV importers, it'll like convert spaces to periods or stuff like that, right? So I wonder if that's why it grabbed that solution.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can just, so we are, let me see.
No.
Yeah. Now it's just, now it's just making stuff up. Interesting. So we won't plug that one in. So my, I will mention, you know, I was going to ask it to do some interpretation of the model, right? To say, okay, like, you know, kind of like we did with the output of the other factors, to start to say, what's the, you know, what's the insight found? You know, what are the important columns? How would you improve this model? All of those different types of things in order to see that. And then, yeah, there's NLP problems, time series problems on there. So there's a lot of different places you can go with it. But certainly open up if folks have questions or thoughts, or if I just cost you the next couple of hours of your life that you're going to spend all night playing around with code examples.
I was considering an assignment for the next intro to data science course that I teach. One thing students always want to do is they always want to make a choropleth, like a map with colors and data sort of on it. And like for an intro class where they're sort of just learning R at all, this is like a pretty tall order. Most of them can't pull it off. And I thought it might be kind of cool if I tried to ask them to like coax ChatGPT to make the choropleth for them. I don't know if I think that's a good idea anymore. After this demo, I'm less sure it'll work than I was an hour ago. But.
I think it's a little bit unfair to judge based on what we experienced today, because it's, you know, the end-to-end problem solving is not trivial.
It's true.
But if you're, you know, you have like a feasible, smaller problems, or like I've been using it a lot for just, you know, string matching and removing parentheses and whatnot. And it's done great on that because I don't have to remember any regex or say I don't know like a certain SQL command. I just ask it. So it's like small problems done awesome. And it gives you tests and examples. So yeah, I think it depends on what you use it for.
That's a really good point. And I think, yeah, some of us on this call may be the last people to go to the grave with regex knowledge in their brains. It's not much of a reason to learn it if I can spit it out. But yeah, and I would say like that matches, you know, kidding aside, that matches my experience of any kind of the early basic, like if you were, you know, I think if you're doing a coding interview with somebody and you're giving them problems like FizzBuzz, you know, even if you're video proctoring, I mean, the question is, you know, do they just have two browser tabs up or whatnot? Because that's solved.
it doesn't really do very good with, I think the thing is if you need to know the data, like the column names and what it looks like and those values, that's what it really, because it's not actually executing it, right? So if you say, write FizzBuzz, okay, it's seen that enough times, you can just spit that out. But if you gave someone a data set and said, analyze this, and they were trying to do it, ChatGPT in the other window, they would run into a lot of what we just did.
I just noticed a comment in chat. So Trang said, I can't speak for Python, but I understand step-by-step done in dpy or ggplot. Make it really easy for ChatGPT to learn and do well. That makes sense to me, that the way it's written very, SQL-like in that fashion is probably friendly to the language model there. That would, I don't have any data to back that up, but that tracks to me. Any other questions or plugs or? All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining. Good to see
That was
everybody.
very good. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Happy to.
Thanks, Tim.
Bye. all.
Yeah.